Hey, everybody. Steve here. I thought it might be a good idea for us to check in a little more often. We all have Zoom available. We've got computers at the ready, whether it's on your phone or your tablet, your computer, your wristwatch, whatever it is. We've all got technology around, and I thought it might be a good idea to maybe just check in a little bit more often for us to keep the conversation going, other than just on Sundays. So. Hopefully, this will be something that we do week after week. And I'd like to just kind of reiterate some of the things that we've talked about in terms of where we're going as a congregation. And um, over the past 6 months or more, we've been talking about these concepts of spiritual practices and spiritual formation and what they mean. And if you remember, it's something I've talked about for years. We've just kind of turned up the attention on these practices. And I was just reading in a book recently about how the number one purpose of a church is really spiritual formation, which is to say it's to foster our relationship with God. Otherwise, church just becomes an activity. So I hope that it makes sense that we're putting an emphasis on this. And I don't mean it to come across as a program, because Lord knows we've been through our share of programs. We've been through our share of binders and different schools of thought, different forms of ecclesiology, how we govern church, how we do church. But to me, this isn't something that's just a program. It's something that is a way of life, and it's a matter of really being who we are, which sounds like a kind of a generic nothing phrase, but I really mean it in terms of not living into what some teachers call the false self. There's this false self where we believe the lies about ourselves, that we're not good, that Jesus is upset with us. There's the true self, that we're adopted and forgiven and blanketed with grace. And I think until we embrace that reality, we live into the false self. So what I'm hoping that we're doing is living into our true self more with these practices. And as I've said time and again, I really don't have a preference in terms of what people do for a particular discipline or practice, I should say. Discipline is a loaded term right now. What I'm hoping is that each of us will come to know Jesus and what he's offering. And that is a full life in terms of experiencing what we were meant to live out. We were meant to live in relationship with him. That is the ultimate expression of life itself. And all the other physical stuff, that's going to go away. But eternity means relationship with God. The kingdom, heaven itself, isn't about any of the things that we're going to own or the accomplishments we had here on earth. It'll be about relationships. And so, to whatever extent we can find those practices, find those ways of being in conversation with God, the ones that are most enjoyable, the ones that call to us, the ones that that just fit with our personality and our background and the way we're wired. Find those things and do those, because you end up doing something that you enjoy, and you end up being with the only one who can give peace and real joy in a lasting way. The Bible tells us everything else is temporary, is transient, but the love of God is what lasts forever. And if we can live into that now, then we are living into eternal life. So I just kind of wanted to clarify that these practices, I don't mean for them to be another thing on the checklist, another thing, another to do. Far from it. These are things that breathe life into us, that have the potential to bring us the joy of heaven that we may not have ever even experienced in quite the same way. So to live is to know Jesus, and to know Jesus takes some time. And the best way to spend time with someone is to make it a priority. And it doesn't mean that you have to have a strict schedule, but maybe you say once a day or twice a week or whatever it may be. We pick those things that we enjoy doing with God, just like we enjoy doing with any of our other friends. We put it on the calendar. We do something intentionally. So that's what we've been trying to do, is focus on those things that come most readily to us, given our own context, our own life, our own lifestyle, our personality, our wiring. What makes sense to you with your relationship with Jesus, and dig into that, dive into it, and give yourself fully into it, so that we can experience God in a very full way. And that's how we really live eternal life now. So I hope that that's helpful. It may not be anything new, but I'm hoping to kind of refine and put a finer point on it. That please don't see any of the things that we're doing as chores or a checklist, but rather these are privileges where Jesus is knocking on the door, and it's a matter of saying, yes, I'm going to answer the door, or that he's calling on the phone and you say, yes, I'm going to answer that call. It's a matter of him reaching out to us, and we just say, yes, I'm here, and I want to spend time with you too. So I hope that helps. And I hope that the rest of the week brings blessings in that regard, and that you grow ever closer to Jesus.